Hi, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk, and here we are looking at the Nokia Lumia 520. I'm going to do a quick unboxing video for you and just a quick power up. So inside the box we have the phone immediately on top. Just pop that out of the way, and we'll come back to it in 1 second. Just checking out what else is in the box. So we have the user guide and welcome manual. Just pretty lightweight and basic, straightforward stuff. We then have battery, which is a 1430 milliamp hour battery. We're going to need that in a second. Then underneath we have a wired headset, which is a 4-pole 3.5mm jack with inline microphone and very basic plasticky headphones on the other end, and a charger, which is a UK 3-pin plug with micro USB connector on the other end. And then finally we have a really short, so I'm going to take that off, a very short USB to micro USB sync charge cable for connecting up to your PC and whatever. So that's what, probably about maybe 8 to 10 inches long, something like that. So not very generous on cable length. So let's check out the handset itself, and let's start on the front. So we have on the front a 4-inch display, which is a 480 by 800 pixel display, which I suppose is sort of one of the more common display resolutions, so 480 by 800. Below that we have the capacitive touch sensitive buttons. Nothing to see at all on the left hand side. On the bottom we simply have the micro USB sync charge connector. And on the other side we have a series of buttons which are actually completely indescript. One of them is certainly to be, I would imagine, a camera, one's the power, and the other one down, up and down volume, sort of volume control there. On the top, the 3.5mm headphone connector, which again you can use any standard headphones or indeed the supplied wired headset. On the back there's a 5 megapixel autofocus camera, which supports 720p video recording. You'll notice there's no flash, which some people might be a bit disappointed by. And then also on the back there is the actual hole there, which is the main loudspeaker. Now to get the battery in, it's a case of prizing this thing apart, which isn't easy. So bear with me a moment while we do that. There you go, and it pops open like so. The whole of the back cover comes off, as you can see. It does mean that you can change the back covers. There are other back cover designs available. Obviously this one's black, as you can clearly see, but they do have yellow, red, blue for sure. And then underneath we have space for the battery, which will pop in place, and then space for a SIM card. SIM card is that side, and then the micro SDHC memory cards. And fortunately I'm pleased to say that we are now seeing upgradable memory or memory card slots in the Windows Phone devices. So let's go and power that on, and while it's powering on I'm also going to give that screen a little wipe, so that's picked up the fingerprints in no time at all. Okay, let's run down the rest of the specification. It's quad band for GSM and HSDPA, supporting most of the international standards, so roaming will not be too much of a problem for you. In terms of size, 119.9, so basically 120 millimeters top to bottom, 64 millimeters wide, and just a shade under 10 millimeters thick, 9.9 millimeters thick at the thickest point. Weight, it feels quite lightweight in the hand. It's 124 grams, which isn't the lightest phone on the market, but I think the styling also does mean that it just does feel that bit lighter in the palm of the hand, so that has got a nice feel to it actually. The actual texture and the material used there is quite pleasant, and obviously the shape does mean that it sits quite nicely in the palm of the hand. The 480 by 800 display that we've already mentioned is an IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen with scratch resistant glass. I don't think it's Gorilla Glass, but it is a scratch resistant design. There's 8 gig of internal memory and 512 megabytes of RAM. There are other versions, I believe, available with more internal storage, but I'll confirm that. The micro SDHC memory card will support up to, or the card slot will actually support up to 64 gig of card storage, which is quite cool. HSPA supports 21.1 megabit per second connectivity. Wi-Fi 802.11b, and then standard, it's dual band as well. Bluetooth is Bluetooth 3.0 and with A2DP support. As I mentioned, the 5 megapixel camera is autofocus, and so it does support 720p video recording, and via the GPS as well. It also supports geotagging. Finally, the processor is a dual-core 1 GHz Adreno Qualcomm processor, and we have Windows Phone 8. So I think that covers most of the basics. Let's just close the fact that we've got a SIM error and go through the getting starting in English. And we'll accept the standard usage. We'll do the recommended settings and skip kind of through this as quickly as possible. And we'll sign in later. Now this process can take a little while, so I may need to stop and start the video recording, but we'll see how we get on with that. Take note of the time in the corner, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so we have now finished the initial setup and install of all the apps and whatever have you. You'll notice that we were into about 5 minutes. Bear in mind that is just an initial setup. You don't have to do that every time you turn the phone on or anything, but just bear that in mind. It's quite a long setup time. It's actually, I think it's the longest of any phone, basically of any OS as well. So here we go. Let's take a look. Accept the terms and conditions, and then we are straight into the live tiles, as you can see there. So anybody that's seen Windows Phone before will immediately recognize this, and it's quite a nice design. I mean, it's kind of one of those things, I guess, you pick an OS that you like, and it'll be a love it or hate it kind of a relationship. But this is obviously the Windows Phone 8 standard interface. We have the phone dialer, which has nice large buttons and quite a clear interface. And we can skip back out of there. We have then, oops, wrong one, the Office apps. So you've got SkyDrive and then Documents, Word, PowerPoint and Excel. So you can do stuff in there. It's pretty cool, pretty useful. We have Maps, Here Drive, Nokia Music, Calendar, Photos, and we've probably got some sample photos in here. Pressing the camera button, so there we go. I've got a dedicated camera button, and let's just grab something that happens to be to hand. There we go. We have an old orange SPV M3100 Titan. Let me say, the camera isn't great, I would say, to be honest with you. Let's take a snap. It's not fabulous. Let's just take a look at that. The colouring isn't brilliant, and the quality isn't fabulous. It's okay. I would say sort of pretty straightforward, basic kind of camera phone. Nothing too special about it, to be quite honest. But it's 5 megapixel. It does the job. So come back out of there. Game Center and Local Scout and all that kind of stuff. So into the sort of main menu, if you like, where we have all the settings, and we'll go turn on Wi-Fi and connect to our Wi-Fi network. As you can see, again, standard QWERTY keyboard, which is kind of quite good. I actually quite like the keyboard on Windows Phone. So let's go and sign in. So the capacitive touchscreen on here is really quite good, actually. I have noticed on capacitive touchscreen should be quite sensitive and shouldn't require any pressure, but I have noticed recently some other devices have required a bit more force under the finger to actually make them work, whereas this is requiring the slightest touch, which I quite like, in terms of sort of its apparent sensitivity. But let's go into Explorer. And take a look at our site on here. So it's loading pretty quick over broadband and Wi-Fi. Page loads quite quickly. You'll notice a little bit of strobing there. That's because of the refresh rate of the screen and the frame rate of the camera that I'm recording on. With my eyes, naked eyes, you can't see any of that strobing, so don't worry about that if you've noticed that. But say the browser works kind of as you'd expect it to. You double tap to zoom in. You can use 2 fingers to zoom. See, portrait and landscape orientation is pretty straightforward, and as you would expect to find on almost every kind of other device, quite frankly. In terms of what else we have, let's take a look at games. The game center, you can get more games. You can join your Xbox. There's some stuff already in here in the collections. And then back, and then maps. Here maps from Nokia. Whether or not this is going to pick up our location. Yeah, it's doing something. There we go. It's not too bad for accuracy. So you get a look at the satellite imagery. Accuracy is not bad in terms of location. It's probably using Wi-Fi primarily rather than GPS to actually find my location. But there we go. We've got the here maps, which is well, again, pretty much functions like any other phone mapping application. What other apps do we have on app highlights? So you can see some of the best apps available. Here Drive, which I think is basically set nav. Yeah, which you can install and download. Local Scout games, music and videos. Well, there you go. That's kind of a very quick look at the Nokia Lumia 520. We'll have a review for you over the coming weeks. In the meantime, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's twitter.com/TracyandMatt or facebook.com/tracyandmatt.co.uk. Please feel free to ask any questions about this or indeed anything else that we can hopefully help you with. Be delighted to do so. We'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on tracyandmatt.co.uk. But for now, thanks for watching.